Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much for coming to a multi-pathway workshop. I myself serve as today's moderator. I am Asami Abe. First, I would like to call upon presenters for today's multi-pathway workshop. Speakers, please come up to the stage. Now, let me introduce today's speakers. From the left, Representative Director, President, CEO of Subaru Corporation, Mr. Osaki Atsushi. At the center, Representative Director, President, and CEO from Toyota Motor Corporation, Mr. Sato Koji. And Representative Director, President, CEO from Mazda Motor Corporation, Mr. Moro Masahiro. Thank you. In today's workshop, we will explain the engine unit in the new age. Please take a look at the display platform on the right. Today, we have prepared samples of an engine unit. And later, we have a photo session, so you can take a photo of these samples later. And now we will start the presentation. First, we would like to start with the presentation from President Mr. Sato. So, Mr. Osaki and Mr. Moro, could you please be seated here?
Hello, this is Sato. Thank you very much for coming over to our multi-pathway workshop today, despite the bad weather conditions. So the three companies here today, Subaru, Mazda, and Toyota, will talk about a multi-pathway approach to achieving carbon neutrality, especially in taking on new challenges related to engines. To achieve carbon neutrality, it is important to consider the future of energy and prepare diverse options to ensure reduced CO2 emissions. Last year, at G7 Hiroshima Summit hosted in Japan, we conveyed to the world the Japanese automotive industry's belief in diverse options using the key messages of diversity and carbon neutrality. And there is a uniquely Japanese way to climb the mountain, which is carbon neutrality. As one of the diverse options, each three companies here is pursuing its own battery EV initiatives, and engines also represent a necessary multi-pathway technology. To promote the popularization of electrified vehicles, we will pursue the new values required of powertrains and evolve them into ones that are suited for the future energy environment. Based on these aspirations, we are advancing the development of new engines. In the CEO session today, we would like to share our thoughts on these initiatives. In the CTO sessions, three companies will provide specifics on technological developments. Looking back within the history, internal combustion engines have evolved to meet the special social challenges of the time. In 1970s, when air pollution became a problem, industry overcame strict emission regulations by pursuing various technologies such as improvement of combustion and catalyst performance. Before the 21st century, the challenge of creating the first generation Prius, which was based on the goal of doubling fuel efficiency, was also an effort to pursue a new direction for engines. Over the past few years, we similarly took on the challenges of achieving carbon neutrality and continually refined our engine technology in motorsports by leveraging what is unique to Subaru, Mazda, and Toyota. We realized that learning from each other's strengths and challenges drastically increases the speed of technological evolution. With this backdrop, that we are developing the engines that each company is announcing today. Toyota is developing new low displacement inline four-cylinder engines. This effort is based on two development concepts. One, the pursuit of greater efficiency and compactness through combination with an electric power unit. Based on the concept of adding engine onto an electric unit, we are refining our technology to achieve higher efficiency than before by leveraging the areas in which each electric motor and engine excel. By optimizing engines for electrification, we will make their structure more competitive and compact, which will lead to more flexibility in engine installations in cars. Toyota sees this as an opportunity to develop engines that are optimized for the electrification era and make it possible to create hybrid and plug-in hybrid vehicles that are electric-rich. The other second concept is the diversification of fuels such as biofuels and e-fuels. Toyota, until today, internally developed advanced combustion technologies such as D4S. Using this strength, we hope to enable engines to efficiently use diverse fuels so we can contribute to the popularization of carbon-neutral fuels. We also believe that widespread adoption of carbon-neutral fuels require increasing their use. As announced yesterday, we will work with Idemitsu Kosan, ENEOS, and Mitsubishi Heavy Industries to consider establishing a carbon-neutral fuel supply chain as part of this effort. The inline four-cylinder engine has been refined over its long history. The simple structure and highly flexible installation requirements have enabled it to support a diverse product lineup from family cars to sports cars. We'd like to thoroughly refine the characteristics of Toyota's new inline four-cylinder engines and develop them into powertrains that can create diverse cars in the age of carbon neutrality. I believe that the key to creating the future is to pursue co-creation and competition. Technology evolves through friendly competition with colleagues who share the same aspirations for the future. Leveraging each uniqueness, we will pursue the possibilities of engines in a multi-pathway approach to achieve carbon neutrality. And next, I would like Mr. Osaki of Subaru to share his passion through about his endeavor, please.
Mr. Sato, thank you very much. Hello, everyone. I am Osaki. It gives me a great pleasure to be part of this event today with our like-minded peers at Toyota and Mazda, Mr. Sato and Mr. Moro. And I am also very excited to share with you my thoughts about the future of engines. At Subaru, our vision is delivering happiness to all. While the company was originally created to make customers happy, our mission is to bring happiness to all people, from our suppliers, employees, shareholders, and other stakeholders to local communities in Japan, America, and every other country where we operate, as well as our children, grandchildren, and the future generations. Part of these efforts to deliver happiness to all, including future generations, is our commitment to creating a carbon-neutral society. To ensure that we preserve the Earth's precious environment for future generations, along with the rest of the auto industry, we must make steady, realistic progress towards a carbon neutrality across the entire cycle of our vehicles in accordance with the actual conditions of individual countries. Just as renewable energy comes from a mix of solar, wind, hydro, and geothermal, the same is also true for vehicle energy sources with diverse technology capable of achieving carbon neutrality. Technology we choose are merely means to an end, and we must flexibly accommodate various circumstances and requirements. And in this context, at Subaru, we are navigating this period of great transformation by focusing on flexibility and expandability. It goes without saying that we are developing and advancing our battery EV-related technology and services. Yet, ultimately, it is up to customers to decide what kind of a car is best for them. As we work to make our automotive future carbon neutral, we recognize the need for flexibility and diversity, offering customers and society choices that embody the Subaru difference. At Subaru, internal combustion engines mean horizontally opposed engines. The company's pioneers regarded the longitudinally mounted horizontally opposed engine as the logical and ideal source of power for automobiles. This has developed into Subaru's unique symmetrical AWD system with a superior packaging that takes advantage of a symmetrical powertrain layout and the features of horizontally opposed engines. Lightweight, compact, low center of gravity, reduced vibration, and safety in collisions. We have continued to refine this technology over many years. Both then and now, we've been driven by the desire to offer customers a greater enjoyment and a peace of mind forever. This commitment has delivered happiness to many customers and enabled cars to enrich their lives. For this, we are truly grateful, and as a part of the Japanese auto industry, we are proud that we have been able to deliver happiness to customers and around the world. The combination of a horizontally opposed engine and AWD is about more than just the history or originality. These are the core technology that underpin our cherished values of enjoyment and peace of mind and have become the symbol and icon of Subaru. That is why we continue to focus on these two technologies, the horizontally opposed engine and AWD. While creating battery EV with a distinctly Subaru flavor, we will also continue catering to these customers who have developed a strong trust and an enduring love for our horizontally opposed engine and AWD. To make our horizontally opposed engines shine in the carbon-neutral era, we will hone our car electrification technologies. On the other hand, toward the utilization of carbon-neutral fuel, we will continue to hone horizontally opposed engines themselves. The Japanese car makers, including our three companies, have already gained a great deal of expertise by working together in Super Taikyu racing for carbon neutral fuel. We will continue this research toward a practical application. Subaru is also eager to collaborate in efforts to promote the adoption of carbon neutral fuels, as mentioned by President Sato earlier. The challenge of creating a carbon-neutral society needs to be tackled not just by the three companies here, but by all of Japanese industry and society. In the auto sector, we are striving to ensure that no one is left behind. and not only finished vehicle manufacturers like ourselves, but also the entire supply chain that sustains our industry, along with all our peers working in related industries. Similarly, we want to honor people's diverse preferences and ensure that no customer is left behind. Subaru is here today because we endorse the call to work together on building the future, joining forces to advance engines where we can while competing vigorously in other areas, all with the aim of creating a carbon neutral society. The future of Japanese car making and Subaru's car making still has much to offer. Thank you very much.
So next we have Mr. Moro from Mazda about the future of engines. Thank you, Mr. Osaki. Hello, everybody. I am Moro from Mazda. At the dawn of the auto industry's transformation into a mobility society, we believe in pursuing a multi-pathway approach to ensure a responsible transition towards true sustainability. We fully endorse the idea that internal combustion engines will play a key role in the age of electrification. At the G7 Hiroshima summit, we also conveyed the message that carbon neutrality should be pursued through a variety of options. To realize this goal, we will continue to provide exciting vehicles for our customers by working together with like-minded partners in friendly competition and cooperation. Since publishing our long-term technology vision in 2007, we have developed a multi-solution strategy based on the concept of life cycle assessment, in which technology assets are arranged like building blocks. Right now, we are focused on lowering total CO2 emissions by combining internal combustion engines with electrified devices, as well as pursuing initiatives such as carbon-neutral fuels that target both new and existing vehicles. We believe it is crucial that we engage more customers in protecting the global environment by offering diverse solutions tailored to their needs, wants, and lifestyles. So from this perspective, we strongly support the efforts announced yesterday by Idemitsu, ENEOS, Mitsubishi Heavy Industries, and Toyota Motor Corporation to speed up the adoption of carbon-neutral fuels in society through cross-industry collaboration. Mazda will also strive towards this objective. Regarding today's theme of internal combustion engines in the electrification era, we have spent many years researching and developing our unique rotary engine. From an early stage, we have explored the environmentally friendly potential of these engines, including burning hydrogen in the 1990s. Rotary engines are compact and lightweight, and yet have a high output. The structural characteristics make them omnivores with respect to fuels. What's more, though not widely known, their compact size and relative freedom in the layout of auxiliary parts allow for high space efficiency and easy mounting of electric devices, offering a great advantage for innovative packaging and design. Added to this, the engine's quietness and low vibration gives it a singular value. We believe that the rotary engine holds great potential for providing new value in the age of electrification, and we are devoting all our energies to overcoming the current challenge of emission compliance for our rotary engines. Our development aimed at emissions compliance holds the key to the future of internal combustion engines, and I am certain these efforts will prove to be fruitful. If we can make this kind of learning a new area of collaboration, I believe we can hone the internal combustion engine as a core competency of Japan's auto industry in the age of electrification and boost our competitiveness. Finally, I view the rotary engine as synonymous with Mazda. I believe that our mission in this era is to make the rotary engine a technology capable of contributing broadly to society. We will continue working relentlessly to succeed in this challenge. Now, to wrap things up, I would like to ask Sato-san and Osaki-san to join me on the stage. Now, this picture was taken about exactly 1 year ago at Fuji Speedway at our joint press conference. Today, I am thrilled to have this opportunity to come together once again and express the shared vision that we have cultivated together with Mr. Sato and Mr. Osaki. So through two kyōsōs of competition and co-creation, we will change the future of engines in the age of electrification. We will expand our network of like-minded partners and work together in friendly rivalry with a multi-pathway approach that leaves no one behind and ensures a responsible transition to a carbon-neutral society. We hope that our passion and commitment will resonate with you through today's workshop. Thank you. Thank you very much for all of the presentation. Please leave the stage.
From here on, it is going to be the question and answering session. Please be prepared while we ourselves will be prepared. Thank you everybody for waiting, and from here on we would like to start our Q&A session. As CEO Sato mentioned, after this we are having a CTO session where the CTOs are going to be explaining about technological issues, and they will also hold Q&A session. Therefore, technological questions could be referred to CTOs. Now, we are going to be asking the CEOs back on stage. If you do have any questions, please raise your hand. Our mic runner will be running up for you to hold the microphone, and please name yourself and your affiliation. And we ask you kindly to question 2 per person. If you do have any questions, please raise your hand. In the middle block, please hold on. This is Shimizu, freelancer. Thank you very much for today's workshop. I have 2 simple questions. There's 2 other OEMs who are not here, and they also will be creating the IEC engines around 2024 onwards. And my concern is whether or not you're going to be making a decoupling. So one is, are you going to be thinking about joining with them too? And the other thing is about working together. You have been mentioning this as the cooperation and competition. So are you going to be co-creating and hardware together? So those are my simple two questions, please. Thank you very much, Mr. Shimizu. I would like to answer your questions. For your first question, to achieve carbon neutrality in order to promote multi-pathway, this has been also announced by Mr. Katayama, who's the head of the Japan Automotive Association. And this is something that Japanese automobile industry is going to be embarking on. Each of the companies are working and to create a larger area where the companies can join hands, work together. So that is the big assumption. And especially these three companies gathered today, we are related with motorsports, and we have the on-site relationship, and our deep thoughts to the combustion engine has been developed and grew at the on-site of the races. And because of that, we were able to come to this point to hold in multi-pathway workshop today. We would like to see this platform getting bigger. And usually, people will say that collaboration and co-creation, but we both have each of the aspects in our eyes when we are working to join together. What we felt at the motorsports site, we are within a battle, we are on the fight. But because we compete with each other and we have rivalry, the technological advancement is pursued. That is felt, especially among Subaru and ourselves, and with Mr. Ozaki and Mr. Akio Toyota. They've always been saying that we should be quarreling together, but also being very, very good friends. So we're not going to be just friends, and Subaru is also thinking that they're not going to be inferior to Toyota, and we think as well too. And that is going to be creating a very good environment for competition and creativity. And so that's going to be a great energy. And when we are competing with each other, there could be a coordination or working together, joining hands, which will be accelerating our development. That was also understood so too. So when we are thinking about creating our future for the internal combustion engine, we have been thinking that these two concepts are needed. That is why we have been using both words. In a nutshell, we understand that both aspects are very much important, indispensable. Thank you very much. And now, going on to the next question, please.
The person wearing the gray jacket, please. I am Ueda from the TBS TV. So I'd like to ask you some question about the timing of this conference. Why this timing? Why do you make this announcement at this particular timing? Recently, battery EV evaluation has shifted to some extent. That is my feel. So including those background, could you please elaborate why this particular timing? Thank you very much. Why at this timing? Sato-san and Moro-san, three of us last year, we are both became a president of each company, and for the past 1 year, in a different occasion, we shared our thoughts and worries to think about how we can develop cars for the future. So we exchange opinion and thought about it. On the other hand, when it comes to the circuit, these two people are great fan of motorsports. That is also the case with me. Therefore, we meet up quite frequently in circuit. How are we going to make use of the engine? So that is what I have been thinking about for the past 1 year. Well, just over the weekend, a Super Taikyu race was held in Fuji, and we are working with each other, working together with the three companies, carbon neutral fuel. So now time is ripe. So how are we going to develop the combustion engine, and how are we going to support a carbon neutral fuel in the entire industry? And we realize this is the high time to make an announcement. That is why we are here today. Thank you very much. And related to this, I have additional follow-up question to Mr. Sato. In the financial results announcement, how is the battery EV going to be diffused? Just like a hybrid, once they are penetrated, then the technology will evolve and the price will drop. But do you think that it will take time before we see that? Including your company and these three companies have honed the engine, but they must have potential. They can be leveraged for decarbonization. So that is why you are here to make such kind of declaration. In terms of a timeline, we are not conscious of which came first or later. Talking about the multi-pathway, a necessary solution will be delivered to the area with the area in needs. So battery EV this year, and when it comes to the internal combustion engine, there has been a big turning point. Electric unit with the development of battery EV develops, the potential of battery EV and the role becomes more and more visible. And such is the time, then there might be a possibility for us to pursue the unique role played by internal combustion engine. So there is synchronization. It doesn't mean battery EV comes first, or the battery EV comes first, or combustion engine comes first, but I think that they are moving in a synchronous manner. Well, what we do at this timing, battery EV, which comes first, when it comes to this issue, I think the progress is different depending on the countries. We have to be based on the fact, depending on the region, the customer will make choices. So how can we deliver the various solutions in a timely manner to the customer in each region? Well, G7 Hiroshima Summit was held 1 year ago. Multi-pathway. This was positioned as the one way to move forward for Japan. And then since then, we have accumulated a discussion. And then 1 year later, now, at this juncture, we thought it is a good idea to make an announcement and a communication to you together with these three companies. Thank you.
So the person on the far right. I am Yao from Nikkei. Thank you very much for today's session. I would like to ask President Sato. So with the plug-in hybrid, you are developing a new engine for the plug-in hybrid and also for the hybrid engines. Now, this new engine, is that going to make a new plug-in hybrid vehicle? Maybe you can elaborate on what kind of a vehicle we are talking about. The second question I have is, right now, the sales of the plug-in hybrid, like BYD, is really well in the Chinese market, and your sales is about 140, 150,000 units in the last 6 months. So how are you looking at this situation, and what are you doing moving forward? Yao-san, thank you very much. So what kind of PHEV we will be developing? I can talk about that for hours, and I am almost tempted to do that. But we do have the CTO session coming up, and I know that the CTOs will want to, or is preparing to talk about it. So if I talk about it, I think there's going to be a lot of conflict later on, or friction later on. So I am just going to touch up on it a little bit. So up until now, like hybrids, PHEV, the internal combustion engine was the major part, and the electric unit was more of a sub component. And the electric part was just really kind of covering for what the ICE could not do. So that was the conventional approach. But eventually, as the battery EV technologies is advancing and we have more technology on electricity, we are more thinking about a plug-in hybrid where the major component is electricity. So there's going to be more use of electricity and the electric unit. And it does have an industrial combustion engine, so there are duplicate powertrains, which means that efficiency-wise, it's not very efficient, or it could impose that risk. And if we want to make this work, then we must make sure that this internal combustion structure needs to be more simplified or needs to be more rationalized so that we can reduce the duplications where there is a best match between the electric and the internal combustion units. I think that is what we need to achieve. Now, to do that, we need to make it smaller, because we need to have that freedom to mount it, and also with all of the emission restrictions, especially using the cooling agents, or it could be the CO2 emission volumes. So all of this, there is this kind of maybe I'm talking too much already. I'm just looking at the CTO's faces so that they don't get angry in any way, but I am sure they can share you with more details about this. But anyway, is that mutual impact on both sides. So we want to make sure that this develops. I think all three companies have the same approach. We have our units. We want to bring the strength of each of the units and take that to the next generation. I think that's what we all want to do. And about the immediate PHEV sales, I think it's about 2% of our total sales. And the demand moving forward, we think PHEV, it is going to come up. And it's going to be a practical battery EV, and the presence of this PHEV, we have to look at it from scratch and really develop how it can be growing in the future.
Now going on to the central block, the last row, please. My name is Watanabe, a writer. Thank you very much for today's presentation. Mr. Moro, you have been touching upon this issue that I would like to question about. It is about hydrogen, and hydrogen was not talked today much in depth. And each company is working on hydrogen, of course, Toyota too. But how are you going to be leveraging on hydrogen for each of the companies? And I would like to know where you are currently in a specific way. Could you share that, if possible? Thank you. I would start then. So as I mentioned, within the 1990s, the rotary engine has been done by the research of hydrogens, and then the vapor of the hydrogen has been utilized. And then after that, rotary used as a generator to have a hydrogen burned as a material, and motor will be driving the car. Such an test was done, and that was around mid-2000. At that time, the infrastructure of hydrogen was yet to be developed. Therefore, technology was being stalled or shelved at that time. However, going forward, the renewable energy is going to be advanced. The hydrogen as a material will come out within the market, and how to utilize them is a great opportunity for us. Therefore, maybe we have to set the timeline. However, this is a very powerful and potential energy. So in that way, it is one of the hydrogen is one of the opportunity for rotary engines. However, what we are thinking, one step prior, we are focusing on the fuel that could be more practical, and then to spread it into the society for an infrastructure in order to spread the use of hydrogen even more. To achieve carbon neutral society, electricity and hydrogen will be used significantly and will be expected highly as an opportunity. That is our understanding. And in that sense, we have been researching on hydrogen steadily. However, it's about the current situation. How to cope with the current situation is a problem, and with the internal combustion energy and the energy unit drive, and then the carbon neutral fuel. Those are also going to be useful for the existing cars running on the road, which is in use. So we must respond to current existing cars too. In that sense, the internal combustion engine and battery EV and carbon neutral fuel should be used in order to serve these vehicles on service currently. I would like you to think as such. Thank you very much. Now, time is running, and this is going to be our last question within the second row within the central block, please.
Junichi newspaper. I am Sugito, and thank you very much. One question to three of you. In your respective presentation, based on the electrification age, you're talking about developing the engine. So at each company, you have developed a supply chain, especially around the internal combustion engine. What kind of impact is it going to have on the suppliers? So as an OEM, what kind of message are you going to deliver to suppliers? So I'd like to hear your view from three of you. Sugito-san, thank you very much. So supply chain, as you pointed out, is very crucial. Well, we have a wide supporting industry in the auto area. Tier 1 suppliers is more than 100 for the internal combustion engine. Together with those suppliers, in order to build the future, first we have to declare the direction or vector, and that is why we hold this conference to build together the future of internal combustion engine. That is the declaration we make today. So, but it does not mean the current state of internal combustion engine is acceptable as it is. It needs to go through changes. Internal combustion engine becomes a part of a solution, but that should not stop the R&D. So, what kind of a solution are we going to develop? We have to be responsible in presenting the solution to make the changes happen in terms of the volume. So for three companies, we have a respective supply chain. So we have the horizontal collaboration. So reinvigorate the supply chain or further development. Within the supply chain, there might be the area or theme where we can work with each other. With that in our mind, we want to move forward. In case of automotive industry, supply chain is extremely crucial. Without suppliers, we are not able to launch cars. That is the relationship with suppliers. Without the supply of parts, we are not able to develop car. That is the relationship. So even if we say we will work on the internal combustion engine on our own by ourselves, it may be questionable from the viewpoint of a receiver or on the receiver end. So officially in this official conference, by setting our eye on the future, in this way we will improve the competitiveness of automotive industry. With that mind in our mind, we would like to show you the milestone or the future post going forward, and I think that will be a very important message for suppliers. Internal combustion engine in its current state will not be the solution for the future. It needs to be combined with the electrification solution. Internal combustion engine in itself needs to be changed. So that is also the case with carbon neutral fuel. So even if we just replace the current fuel with the carbon neutral fuel, then that is not enough. Internal combustion engine needs to be changed. So together with the supply chain, we have to develop together. So that is the message. We will create the future together. That is the message we would like to deliver, and that is the message toward the future. So time is up. So we would like to conclude the Q&A session. And thank you very much for your question. Now we would like to go on to the photo session.
So we would like to ask the CEOs to go into the photo session area.